Okay, so this little video is basically just how to create a UML diagram. What is a UML diagram? Basically, you're going to break your project up into classes. So as you read your description of your class, there's certain key nouns in that description. A noun is most likely an object. Not every noun in the description is going to be an object, but any of the major objects in that description are going to be classes in your final project. And a UML diagram shows the classes and their relationships to one another. So YUML.me, I've provided a link to it, and the link that I provide is this particular page. Up here is where you will type some stuff. You'll click Generate Diagram and it creates a picture for you. You will submit to me the picture that it creates. Down at the bottom of this is syntax. So this little table indicates some of the syntax or the way that you would type this in. I'm going to basically just demonstrate a basic thing for you to get you comfortable with the syntax, and then I will post the UML diagram for Mancala, a completed one, and then it'll be up to you to create one for your project. In this list, there are really only two items that you should really be concerned with for us. One is composition, and the customer would be a class, order would be a class, there's a relationship to them, it's composition. This is a composition means has a. In fact, this is what we're going to do almost completely. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. So if a class name is in square brackets, and then you've got something between the two classes if there's a relationship between them. If I copy and paste this and click Generate Diagram, the relationship is indicated by the arrow. Eventually, we're going to also use inheritance, but we haven't studied inheritance yet. So really, our diagrams are going to be kind of simplified. This is the only relationship we need. The arrow, this shows that the customer has an order, essentially. So there will be a variable inside of the customer class of type order. That's the relationship. Now you're going to do other things as well. You're also going to list the methods. And so if you have a class, customer, and a class order, you're going to have a colon, and you're going to say there might be a place order method inside of the customer class. And you know, the order class might have a relationship to another class like item. You order a bunch of items. And the item class might have some things like, so it might have an int price, and it might have a string description. And then I'm going to put another vertical bar, and it might have a method like change price. And it might have a method, oh, I don't know. Well, we'll worry about that later. An order might have a method add item. And so if I create diagram, and I see that my diagram didn't end up exactly right. Why not? Let's take and put the order first and draw it again. Still didn't work. Okay, so I had a little space here, between order and the vertical bar, and that caused it to break it out. So it's very important not to have any spaces between the bar and the name. This name has to be spelled exactly the same way as that name, otherwise the little diagram. So the idea is that a customer may have orders, and the order is going to have items. What else might a customer have? Okay, so you might have another class, wallet, that has something like money in it, right? And you might say that a customer. Now the second time I make a relationship, so you have to have a separate line for each relationship. The first line, first time you introduce a class, you're going to do the vertical bar, and then all the members of that class, whether they be data items, and I would generally only place basic data in this list, right? So like item has an int price and a string description. Well, a string is an object, but we act as if it's a basic data type because it's not described in our project. It's from the outside. So it's a vertical bar and then a semicolon separated list of all the data that would be defined not in our code but in somebody else's code. And then another vertical bar and then a semicolon separated list of all the methods for that class. So the first time I use a class, I'm going to have these vertical bars and list its stuff, but every time after it, I've only just got its name. And then, so this is the first relationship with a customer. A customer has orders, and a customer is also going to have plus plus minus a wallet. And you generate the diagram, and so the customer has two things. It has a wallet. The wallet is going to have money. Oh, but I've introduced the wallet here. I need to make sure that, see, it doesn't say money down here. It's because I introduced it up here as the first time. You have to have the extended thing be the introduction of the class. And so now I've got my diagram. A customer can place an order. There's a wallet, it's got money in it. The order, you can add items. The order has a bunch of items. Each item has a price and a description. You might have a change price method in the item class. And so the idea is to look through your description of your project and try to come up with classes. Now, a good class diagram is going to identify the most important or major objects in the description, is going to seek to have each item in the class, each class, each little box in your diagram to be roughly equal size, so that you don't have one class loaded up with all of the code for your project in it. You want to roughly evenly space it, divide it up into even items of equal complexity. And you would like to minimize the number of relationships between items. And so sometimes in a class diagram, the one class is going to be related to 3 or 4 other classes, sort of like customer is related to 2 others. But what you don't want is wallet to be related to customer and order and item, order to be related to customer and wallet and item related to order, customer, and wallet. It's good program design is kind of an art form, but UML diagrams are commonly used when people first start projects to come up with the overall architecture or design of their project. What you'll do is you'll create a UML diagram, do the very best you can, and I will give you feedback on your UML diagram via the comments in the grading section when I grade your assignment. Thank you.